Hello there. Folks, welcome to Clash of the Podcast, where everything pro wrestling and HW Weekly come together to bring you all the latest and greatest in the world of professional wrestling. This is episode 202. Lasted longer than WCW. Lasted longer than your favorite television show's top wrestling ratings of all time. We're still here and we're still standing. I am Conrad Cushman, and next to me is Sean Hubbard of HW Weekly. We have a tremendous show lined up for you guys. We're going to be talking a little WWE, AEW, and the Dark Side of the Ring TNA special. We're going to get into that, and there's another part happening for that tomorrow, so if you didn't get the chance to catch up, you can still probably catch up tomorrow. I'm just going to sit back, and I'm going to wait for Sean to give me that line.
Only one thing left to say. I'm ready to rock and roll, Conrad. Good to be with you. Chat, good to be with you. Conrad, my brother, drop that thing.
File on in, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys want to help support the channel for free, easiest way to do that, hit the like button. Subscribe. It's that easy. Sean's channel. It's in the description box below. It'll probably pop up. I'm sure one of the mods will go in there, !Hubs, and it'll pop up. Sean's channel. Make sure you are over there as well. We have Clash specials all the time over on Sean's channel. So make sure you keep it locked in, and he's got you locked in with Hubbonomics and all of his other great shows. Tomorrow we're going to be guesting, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Doing some guest appearances. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're going to be back on Malik's channel, Narcolepsy Boy. Six-pack reuniting for the first time in what seems like a long time.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
I don't know what we're going to talk about, but it'll probably be fun. So head on over there and make sure you do that. And speaking of fun, Sean, I'm going to need you to back up a little bit and show off that shirt, my good sir.
Yeah, man, this is a HW Weekly official design. New York basketball representing the world champs. Really excited about this. It's an original design by myself. Go get one, man. Threadless.com, HW Weekly. Thank you, Conrad. I appreciate you, my brother. As you can see, the HW Weekly brand new shirt and also the New York Championship shirt as well. So we got a lot of cool stuff going on. You see my best sellers at the top. A vibe equals me, prosperous mindset. What a revolutionary idea, and so much more. So, yeah, check it out, man.
No doubt,
as well as Hubbonomics each and every Thursday night. No more sporadic. We are with you every single Thursday night.
There you go. We got merch over here at EPW as well. Make sure you guys check out the sweet designs that we have up. You guys can go over to TeePublic or Bonfire to get those. Be a happy customer like these people and get yourself some merch. Man, what a week in pro wrestling it has been. It was.
To say the least.
A lot has happened. We're going to get into all of that, I promise.
So much hypocrisy.
You said hypocrisy?
No. I said hypocrisy is what I said.
Understood. I'm sure we'll get into some of that.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, though, we got to shout out the people who are in here. Clown.
Cleezy, 130, 4tweezy.
What's going on, Clown? Appreciate you, my brother. Vinny.
The only Vinny we like.
And that's going to say a lot today as well when we get into some of these other topics. Mm-hmm. He said, happy Monday. Flag football team won 62-6.
Whoa.
That's BTA. That's a BTA game right there. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, now 4-1. We play the only undefeated team Sunday, number one seed for the playoffs. God bless and Jesus loves y'all, chat. Appreciate you, Vinny.
Jesus loves you too, man. Thank you.
Ray Thompson in the house. Happy Monday, guys. Hope everyone had a great weekend.
Beautiful family, Ray.
Yo, shout out to Ray. He put a good topic, I thought, in the Facebook group. Ray, you might have to come over to Discord, brother. You'll get some more traction over there with this. But he put a good topic in. Favorite TV wrestling matches. So no pay-per-views, none of that, where you expect the greatness. Television wrestling matches. Got any favorites, Sean?
HBK Triple H, December 2003, Monday Night Raw.
That's a really good one. I don't think anyone mentioned it. I put up Undertaker Jeff Hardy. I actually really loved that match, the ladder match they had.
Right.
Sloppy, didn't matter. I love the ending though, where Undertaker just keeps beating him up after. Taker, I'm still standing. And then he was just like, I can't even anymore, man.
That was really good. Gave him the little rub. I also think that Triple H Rock from September 99, the This Is Your Life episode was really good until the very end.
Yeah. Listen, they set up a lot of good stuff in there, man. I'm telling you. There's some good ones. I think what other ones did I put? I think 1, 2, 3 Kid Bret Hart. I mentioned Bob Backlund and Bret Hart because that was on my mind thinking about you. Classic WWF superstars. All Bret was trying to do was raise his hand and show everybody that he did a good job. And then Bob Backlund just went crazy on him.
How many times 3 times? 3 times. Now you're just rubbing it into my face. That's what you're doing. If Conrad could, let me tell you something. If Conrad Cushman raises my hand 3 times, he's mocking me.
Yeah, but he never said that. He just started getting on about start saying presidents' names. Bob Backlund just went crazy.
Nah, Bob Backlund, he raised his hand the first time. He raised his hand the second time. How many more times do you need to raise my hand, Brett? You're making fun of me now. Now I got a chicken wing you.
He was just telling him to leave the ring gracefully. That was it. Quills in the house. What up, Conrad? Shout out to chat. Your boy, Sir Quills, is back to enjoy my 2 favorite bros, CJ Hubbs, for episode 202 of the Best Wrestling Podcast. Out today, Clash of the By God podcast. Hashtag EPW, hashtag HWW.
Quilly.
Our guy, Matt.
M. Leezy, Fo, Sheezy. Hello, good evening, everyone. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's kick the week off right with the 2 aces of our pro wrestling community. Matt, we appreciate you.
Always, big dog. Thank you so much for that. He said Collision was a very good show, but that national championship match was nuts. How many close? 2.99, man. I was jumping up and down watching that one. And then Speedball did the shooting star press into the senton. Yo, even if you don't like that, brother, you got to give it up for that, man. That was a good performance by both of them. Shout out to Mark Davis, man. Mark Davis made something out of nothing, because before I used to be worried for him. I'm like, Kyle Fletcher's on the ascent. I don't know what's going to happen to you. And he found a way, though. He's like, no, I'm good, too.
There you go.
So good for them. The Dark Side of the Ring was an eye-opener, man. Dixie Carter, no wonder he ain't liked. We'll get into it.
Talk about it.
Miracle.
I'm searching for a miracle. Believe the impossible.
He said, what up to my favorite podcast tag team, Kyron and Sean. As always, looking forward to discussing some wrestling with you in the chat. Always, man. Always. Sure. T-Ferg.
Ferg, what up?
He said, what's good, gentlemen? I hope everyone in the chat had a good weekend. I'm guessing you guys were at the Jay-Z concert in Yankee Stadium. I do not live near New York City, good sir. If I was, I would like to be there. That would have been dope.
I was Jay-Z concert adjacent. I was watching If you're familiar with Yankee Stadium, there is a big building similar to Chicago's Wrigley Field, where there's apartment buildings behind, or the Orioles Stadium, where there's a big apartment complex behind Yankee Stadium. And if you're up on the roof, you can see everything. I actually have a friend, a young lady who I'm cool with, that allowed me to pull up and sit on her roof and watch the concert.
That's what's up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Shifty, what's going on, man? I appreciate you.
What up?
Let's see here. BJ said, the professor, he said, what up, everyone? Hope you're having a great Monday. Appreciate you, BJ.
Everybody likes a BJ. It's his Twitter name. Relax.
They do, though. And
see, you took it too far.
I just said
everyone likes too far. After I say that's his Twitter name, relax, you leave it alone. You took away all plausible deniability. You made it worse. And it's not often that you're the one who makes it worse. What is wrong with you today? Are you okay?
I'm perfectly fine. BJ, we like you. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
that's it.
Shut up.
We're a fan. We're a fan. The word of the day is hypocrisy.
You ain't
it
lying.
Sounds like Sesame Street.
You ain't lying.
XG Dub, what's good? Appreciate
what
you.
Up, X?
BJ, I appreciate you tagging us in that that little section to
yes.
What was it, X? Yeah.
Yes.
Really
very
good
interesting stuff, BJ.
Yes. Ray, Cena versus Punk is always the top of my list because of the pile driver spot. It should have main evented WrestleMania 29. Brother, I bought tickets because I thought it was. I was like, okay, they can't deny Punk this year. I'm going this year. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Disappointed. They got me. Even though AEW is young, they've had so many great TV matches. That's a fact too.
Yeah.
Oh, Matt coming with a throwback. Mr. Perfect Ric Flair 93.
Career on the line.
And he still found a way to come back.
That's right.
Everybody forgets. MJB in the place to be. What up?
In this dancery, don't need no hateration, holleration. There you go.
Yeah. Dark Side of the Ring was so good as always. MJB said hard pause. Play. BJ said, I mean, they do. See?
Touche. We're just not allowed to say it on a radio show that we don't want to get canceled.
Yeah, we would never say something to get canceled. We will toe the line, though.
We will toe the line. That's a fact.
Sean, let's
What's up,
talk
brother?
our wrestling talk, man. We're jumping right into this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you were watching live or if you were catching up, Tuesday.
Well,
but
you know me, I'm typically out on Monday nights, but I did see it.
How did you feel about Cody Rhodes not getting that title shot? Big Gunther showed up and had to put pause on him, and he did just that, and they did the old bait and switch that WWE is known for from time to time.
Triple H watches our show. I believe that wholeheartedly, and I'm gonna tell you why.
No, I don't.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because everybody and their brother knows that we said that there's no way Cody Rhodes should win that title back. And you know what Triple H said? Okay, I'm going to give you what you want, Sean Hubbard. You foul-mouthed SOB. I'm going to give you what you want.
Sean, you were right.
So, all jokes aside, man, like, what a disgrace. What a disgrace. I'm very disappointed. It's hard. Let me tell you something. It's very difficult for me to dislike CM Punk. They made me dislike CM Punk, at least for one night. It's not CM Punk's fault that he got booked this way, but, to me, here's the deal. Let me just put it like this. I wasn't going to go there right away, but we need to just talk about this straight off the gate. Number one, Triple H's booking has continued to be a complete disgrace. And we all need to recognize that this is what it is. Triple H is just not good at his job. Triple H is a C- booker. That's just the way it is. He hits home runs every once in a while, but the problem is when he hits home runs, the only thing he ever does other than that is strike out. There's no singles, there's no doubles, there's no triples. And for me, when you look at what happened on Monday night, there is a complete and total, thank you, Jocelyn, a complete and total ineptitude as it relates to Triple H and his booking abilities. And then you have to put the focus on CM Punk, who was sitting home in Chicago over the past 3 months with his beautiful wife. And I mean that with no sarcasm whatsoever. Big shout out to AJ Lee. Big shout out to CM Punk too. It's not really his fault, but you know what? It's a little bit hypocritical. I remember there was a time back in 2013 when CM Punk was the WWE champion. And he was not in the middle of a 9-day reign. He was in the middle of a 400-plus day reign. And a young CM Punk was on his way to the main event of WrestleMania until The Rock came out of nowhere to challenge for the world title. He announced it months in advance, but he announced that he would be the Royal Rumble challenger at that year's Royal Rumble. CM Punk remained the champion through the Royal Rumble. And The Rock won the title. Now, my question to you is this, Conrad Cushman in chat. What is the difference between what happened on Monday night and what happened back 13 years ago? Was it because The Rock was away for a lot longer? Was it because The Rock let it be known months in advance that he'd be the challenger? Maybe so. But at the end of the day, when you don't like the fact, CM Punk, Phil Brooks, that somebody can walk off the street and get a title shot, and last Monday night you literally walked off the street and got a title shot, to me, that is hypocrisy. So, Triple H, inept. CM Punk, a hypocrite.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he was gone. That is an important part of what happened here. I don't know if it was because of what the rumor stated. We talked about it for at least 2 weeks. Like, I don't know why CM Punk wasn't there. Couldn't tell you. Didn't matter. But it did come off away. Like you're saying. You've talked all this stuff before, and Why is it different now? Did it surprise us, though, that Sami lost the belt that quick? I don't think it mattered if it was Punk or anyone. I'd have been nervous if Randy Orton got in there with him. He kind of felt like Christian. When Christian was defending the title, you're like, are they really going to let him keep this? Or, rip your heart out right from you and just say, like, yeah, it's done. Clown said, all this made me laugh out loud. I made the call. He's in the building. Cuts to the garage door opening, and Punk is outside. He had to go walk back out to make that dramatic entrance, right? For that. I don't know, man. Quill said, tonight, instead of Cody Rhodes in the WWE Championship, he'll be replaced by CM Punk. You couldn't do it like that, though. And they were in Chicago. I don't know. Anytime they're in Chicago, they're going to do something with Punk. I mean, at this point, it was pretty obvious once Cody got taken out what was probably about to happen. Kevin, what's good, man? I appreciate you. Fan Hub, Kelson in the house. Greetings, everyone. Made it just in time for Sean's truth.
AEW Fan Hub, I appreciate you, man.
No doubt. Knowledge, appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Rob, it's because he's pushing 50 and constantly needs a recharge. And that's fine, too. I mean, at the end of the day, Sean, let me ask you this.
Please.
Should future performers shut their mouths, I guess, when it comes to, like, Brock shouldn't show up and do this part-time stuff? Is it wise now with wrestlers wrestling longer to maybe say, like, maybe when I get up there, I would like that same luxury, so I'm not going to really crap on this? Because I do feel the frustration, though, if you're a younger wrestler, like, what is this?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, the people should just keep their mouth shut. The problem with CM Punk is that CM Punk runs its mouth. And then when it's beneficial for him, he keeps his mouth shut. I'm sure they presented him with this idea. He didn't literally, for all the people that are not behind the fourth wall, CM Punk wasn't really home in his living room and didn't really get a call from Nick Aldis at the last minute saying, hey, Phil, would you like a title shot tonight? Just in case anybody thought that was really what happened. Allow me to erase that thought from your mind. This was something that was in the works, I'd say at least for the last couple of weeks, right? So if that's the case, CM Punk has every right to say, hey, you know what? I appreciate the opportunity. I think it's an act of good faith, considering the fact that we've had some issues since I've been back. So you know what? I'm ready to come back to work, but I don't think that's the best way for me to walk back in the door. But CM Punk was perfectly fine doing the same thing that he said others have done, doing the same thing he says others have done to him and treated him unfairly and had him in a situation where he wasn't the main event or wasn't the man anymore because somebody off the street took it from him. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is. But you know what? Everybody has something to say unless it's to their benefit. I don't mind unfairness when unfairness benefits me. That's what it was giving last Monday night.
Or some people just want that unfairness.
There you go.
Yeah, and I agree kind of with Vinny, too. Bro said, I'm not going on vacation after WrestleMania, then immediately leaves for 3 months. But that, to me, is the key part of this. Sean, did you read what plans originally were?
No.
This match wasn't supposed to happen until WrestleMania, the SummerSlam match. We're going to get into Smackdown here in a second, too.
But I do know that it was moved up. I don't know why.
That's what I'm saying. So does he have a choice? Is he under? Remember, what was the original thing we said after AEW? What was the clause in the contract? They said like a behavioral clause, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If that exists, I mean, can he argue with this type of stuff? Can he be frustrated? He's very quiet. Like if you're mad about something, do what you did in all the other places.
Well, no, I don't. I think you're on the right track. But I think you have the wrong sentiment. And what I mean by that is this. I think CM Punk would have endeared himself if he had said, hey, there's a difference between bucking the system. I said bucking with a B, bucking the system for your benefit. You know what? I'm not going to lose tonight. This is bullcrap. No. If CM Punk had said, hey, Paul, hey, Michael P.S., hey, Bruce, I just don't think that me winning the title my first night back is the best thing, not only for me, but for Sami or anybody else. I think that would have been received with open arms. Make no mistake about it. and I want to go on record with this, guys. Make no mistake about it. CM Punk knew this would be received poorly. CM Punk knew it would be looked at sideways. And point blank period, CM Punk did not care. CM Punk didn't care how anybody would feel about it. CM Punk didn't care how anybody would write about it, go on social media about it. CM Punk knew this would be received poorly. He knew it would be received in a nice way because he's back in Chicago. But he knew across the rest of the United States and throughout the world, people would look at this sideways. And guess what? CM Punk didn't care. Make no mistake about it. So to answer your question, Conrad, if he had said, I just don't think this is the best idea, that would have been an unselfish decision. And nobody would have backlashed him for it whatsoever.
I do have a counterpoint, though.
Sure.
I think Cody Rhodes knows he can't win that title back.
Okay.
I think Cody knows better. And what did Triple H say earlier this year? Who are the draws? Roman, Cody, and Punk. And everyone was like, you don't think there's anyone ready to take their spots? Why are you talking like those are the only big stars that you have? And so is that, like I said, to me, there could be a little more to this, but I think there's nothing wrong with you saying, maybe, hey, let's not, but maybe they obliged. I don't know. But he also got caught today. What did he say? Something about NHL. He was thinking of NHL players like, oh, yeah, the younger guys get to make more money. And then people brought up the Ariel Helwani interview where he said, yeah, well, I think that people get paid too much now off of their contracts. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's hypocrisy. Like what you said. I said this is going to come into play for a lot of this episode. You can't have it one way and then the other way. And he's saying opposite stuff sometimes. So people were pulling it up today.
Like I said, the words of the day, ineptitude and hypocrisy. Triple H's continued ineptitude at writing decent storylines and CM Punk being a little bit of a hypocrite. I'm going to say a little bit. I don't want to think that he's really like an all-out hypocrite that just really does one thing and says another. But I'll tell you what, he did that Monday night. He certainly did that Monday night.
Right. Johnny wrote ticket sales. I don't know if that's why he thinks they did it or maybe for the SummerSlam.
And let me tell you an alternative situation that would have been perfectly fine. Sure, Chicago would have been disappointed there wasn't a world title match. But make no mistake about it. If the announcement was that there was going to be a number one contender match instead of the world title match, and CM Punk won the world title number one contendership, it would have been perfectly fine. And it would have been Sami versus CM Punk, or maybe you can reinsert Cody Rhodes and then have Sami lose it there. Nobody thought Sami Zayn was going to be the champion for a long time. But you don't give it to him for 9 days. In my opinion, it's only the second most humiliating loss in WWE history as it relates to championships. And the first, I'm sure if you've ever heard me talk about it before, you know exactly who I think the first is, and that's Kofi Kingston, the debut of Smackdown on Fox. Other than that, there's nothing more humiliating. You sit up here, you build this guy up, he wins it in Saudi Arabia, everybody's excited, and you have him lose it in his first title defense? His first title defense. People are so focused on the 9 days. Okay. His first title defense. Gone. Over with.
I think that's by design, too. I wonder if Sami's going to come out on this as a bigger baby face. Obviously, this is going to be the motive for his heel run. But in the end, though, I'm thinking long-term once again, Sean. He might come out as a huge baby face for this because he's not technically wrong with some of the stuff he's saying.
He's not.
He's just doing unlikable things for the most part. Quill's jumping in. He says the original plan was Seth versus Roman and CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania, but plans changed due to Rollins getting hurt. There we go. Rob said, is it fair to say these moments for Punk only hit in Chicago adjacent these days? Would this have slapped for a live crowd in Des Moines?
No. I love what you're saying right there. Who's that, Rob?
Yeah.
I love what you're saying, Rob, because at the end of the day, that's exactly what the situation was. It was because it was Chicago. Oh, this is a great. Oh, you know what? This does sound like a great idea. Let's have CM Punk come back out of nowhere and win the championship. That's so stupid. It's so stupid. And you know, I'm an advocate. I'm an advocate, Conrad, of surprises. You know this. You know this about me. This one, it didn't hit. It didn't cook at all. it was almost as I was sitting in Bible study, and I get a text message from Conrad Cushman saying, "Hey, Cody Rhodes has been injured." The first thing I wrote back to you, Conrad, I was like, "They're going to insert CM Punk into this match." That's the first thing I said. And let me ask you a question, Conrad. Did I sound excited?
No, not at all.
Did I write? Sound is the wrong word because it was a text message. Did I give you exclamation points or say "wow" or "this is awesome"? No, because it wasn't. It was.
I hope you could tell I wasn't overjoyed either. I was just like,
not at all. Not at all. It was corny. When I figured out what was going on, it was corny. It was like they're gonna throw CM Punk in a world title match unadvertised. That's stupid. What's the difference between that and Hogan in WrestleMania 9? What's the difference? That was worse. That was worse, but it's the same.
And worse in hindsight too.
Right. It was worse, but it was worse, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think Money in the Bank and a lot of stuff has cheapened the surprises too. So now they feel like they have to do this stuff. Like I feel like they're looking for Money in the Bank moments without having to use a briefcase. Does that make sense?
I get it.
Like you're looking for that great moment, and I'm not saying that that's a good excuse. I think calling him CM Hogan is a little harsh, a little bit. I mean, every wrestler plays politics. I get it, but I just think too many people are jumping on the, oh yeah, he abused his power to blah blah blah, like Mercedes Hogan. Like it's just overplayed at this point.
The Mercedes Hogan thing is stupid. It's just plain stupid.
But it's anyone who does it, Sean.
Yeah.
If Sean big leagued me on this show one day or something, they'd be like, "Oh, Sean Hogan."
Right?
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, relax, guys. You weren't even there, half of you, for some of the stuff that I hear you saying.
Right.
Like, do you even know what he did for some of the stuff? Like, relax. Sammy Uso. I don't know if they're gonna go back to Sammy Uso. CM Hogan. Sammy.
He should join the bloodline out of necessity. That's what he should do.
They probably could.
You know, I'm a bloodline advocate, maybe to a fault. But y'all tell me right now. Sami Zayn is so pissed. He goes to Roman and says, "Yo, I need somebody to help me out with this situation." You tell me, come on, bro. Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, there's always the bloodline. See, people get mad at me when I say that. But there's always the bloodline. There's always hope. It's the same thing as the NWO. People talk bad about the NWO. Yeah, you talk bad about the NWO after 4 years. After 4 years. Yes, it got bad. No argument there. But you know what? For a long time, it was pretty freaking good. So, let's put these things in perspective. Oh, Triple H and Shawn Michaels are doing the DX thing again. Well, you know what? A lot of DX shirts flew off those shelves, didn't they?
Yeah, immediately. And I think Johnny had mentioned that in the chat before, too. Like, he said Triple H has to look at the merchandise and social media numbers. That's probably true. That leads into Sean's points.
Except for everybody except Jey Uso. That Jey Uso selling shirts hand over fist. Everybody eating and going crazy. Everybody except him, Conrad. Just want to make sure I point that out.
He did make the call to put the title on him.
I'm just saying everybody but him. No, I'm talking about for the fans. Everybody, t-shirts, popularity, everybody but Jey Uso. Jey Uso, no, but everybody else, yeah.
BJ said.
By the way, for the people in the back, that was extreme sarcasm.
BJ said you normally punish the heel chant with a surprise challenger where they take out their opponent, so they just punish Sami for no reason. The writing is awful. You're not wrong.
It is. He's right.
You're not wrong. Let's see here. It'll be Sean.
BJ. I like that, Emily. BJ. No.
He's not wrong. The numbers are.
No, I'm not talking about that. Keep scrolling. I don't want you to skip over. It's the last thing he just said. No.
NWO Silver. Is he talking about the Bret Hart 2000 version?
For the people listening on audio, BJ, one of our great listeners and contributors, said that this run right now that we're currently in. Notice how my voice has changed. I'm very serious right now. that the NWO Silver is where we're at with the Bloodline. That is not true. That is not true.
I'll say this. I'll play the middle. I'm going to play the middle on a lot of stuff tonight. I'll probably be very weirdly opposite on certain things. But I do think that it's gone on for a long time, Sean. And if you're not impressed with any part of this, if you're not like a Jacob Fatu fan, if you're not looking forward to Zilla Fatu or someone else coming in, I can see why you're like, dude, I'm over this. Okay. At the same time, like, do something different. But they're going back to it. But I see Sean's point too. If you ain't making no money and nothing's interested, what work lasts?
If Sami Zayn, I just want to paint a picture for you. See, because for people like BJ, and BJ, I'm not going to give BJ a hard time because BJ always is fair. So if he really feels that this version of Bloodline is like Silver and Black NWO, I will respect his opinion, though I disagree. Let me tell you something. Let me paint a picture for you, Conrad. A disgruntled Sami Zayn is in the ring. Here comes CM Punk. They talk. I don't even really go into detail what the conversation was about. You can imagine what the conversation would be about. Maybe they're talking about the upcoming tag match at Saturday night's main event, which we'll get into a little bit later. All of a sudden, here comes Roman Reigns and the Usos along with Jacob Fatu. Sammy doesn't like the Bloodline, but Sammy also doesn't like CM Punk. Conversation, you can imagine what the conversation is. Don't really need to go into that. All of a sudden, CM Punk feels comfortable turning his back on Sami Zayn because he thinks he has a common friend in Sami Zayn because they both hate the Bloodline, right? All of a sudden, Sami Zayn takes off the top shirt and underneath is a Bloodline shirt. You tell me what the crowd reaction would be.
Oh my goodness!
So unless he pulls off that, I'm gonna do it right now. It's not a Bloodline shirt, obviously. Unless he goes like this and nobody has a reaction that I don't want to hear, that it would be stale if Sami Zayn rejoined the Bloodline.
They would go crazy. My question would be: are the Bloodline heels or faces, though? Because
They're
getting
baby
mixed.
faces. They're baby faces.
Well, I feel like Roman's a face,
and I want you to continue your point. I just want to interject one thing. If they weren't faces, then Roman Reigns wouldn't be bringing out Jalen Brunson at Saturday night's main event.
We're gonna talk about that too.
Right.
Jimmy Uso's a face. I feel like.
Right.
Jay, I don't know.
Jay's a hybrid. Jay's a hybrid.
They didn't. I don't know what they did to Jake.
Jay's a baby face when he comes out, but when he starts talking, he's not.
And Sammy's kind of been a heel too.
Yeah.
So it's like you're dangerous territory unless you're going to do a reset course. But yeah, hold on, I'm pulling up the chat here. I see people are talking again. You get it? Did somebody say 3 minutes? That's what I thought when BJ wrote that too.
Oh, that's funny.
Because he said it's gone on for about 3 minutes too long. Hey, what's going on?
What up, Queen?
Tiff? Did you see AJ Styles' son wrestling in Georgia? I saw a little clip of him wrestling, doing some of the old AJ moves. I did see that. Have you seen his son?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Very talented kid.
Yeah, we'll see here. Let me see here. Sean, I think Sammy is going to be forced into the leader of Solo, LA Knight, and Royce Keys for War Games when Solo turns and joins the Bloodline. I do think Solo's going to end up in there in the long run. I think that is the purpose of it.
Now, to be fair, BJ and Conrad, of course, and chat, to be fair, I think Sami Zayn rejoining the Bloodline would be huge. To the contrary, Conrad Cushman, are you ready for this? To the contrary, I think Solo rejoining would be corny. To be fair, I think Solo rejoining would fall very flat.
I think Solo rejoining will save him because I don't
think
really. Yes, I think his current character does not work with it. Okay. And Solo can. I think he's funny. I think he's very charismatic. I think he could be in a role like Rikishi was in the Attitude Era. And I'm not saying he has to dance and do all that stuff. I'm saying he could play that characteristic. Like, I'm funny. I could do this stuff. I could be your Intercontinental Champion. I could do something good for you. The issue is that you've had him being like this mob boss character, and I'm like, yeah, you got to get this off of him immediately.
Yeah, but I mean, to your point, I want to actually give you your flowers and say that actually he needs to switch it up because they have a new solo in the bloodline already. His name is Jacob Fatu.
I mean, that is true, but he's got to switch up that role too. That's why I'm like, this could be good for him.
And by the way, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to leave it alone, Conrad Cushman, because you know what I'm about to talk about, because I get excited every time I talk about it. Don't think this Punk, you know what, Jay stuff that Solo's talking about. I'm telling you right now, Jay and Jacob are on the same page. Don't think they're not. I'm telling you, this is a setup. All this, especially your punk ass, Jay. I'm telling you, it's too much. They're secretly on the same page. Remember, I told you that. Remember, you heard it right here.
Something's fishy though. Someone brought up LA Knight and all that stuff too. Something's weird going on here, and I don't know who's the weird one or what's about to happen. LA Knight's beefing with the Usos. That's what I'm like. Are they heels or faces? Like, what is going on?
Let me tell you something, Conrad. Let me tell you how on the money you are. And by the way, very interesting conversation we're having, right? What are we talking about? Okay, never mind. So, the bloodline, by the way. Just want to make sure we're clear about how we're talking about Triple H, everybody's faces like this. We're talking about CM Punk, everybody's faces like this. We start talking about the bloodline, everybody starts perking up. You know why? Because it's the best. Why are we afraid to say it? Why are we afraid to say the bloodline's the best thing in WWE right now? I'm not saying that's a good thing. Let me go on record. I'm not saying it's a good thing that a 4 or 5-year-old storyline is the best thing on WWE. That's an indictment of WWE. That shows you how crappy WWE is. But that being said, am I wrong?
To me, it's got the most interesting possibilities out of it for what we're talking about currently.
There you go, BJ and everybody. That's the situation. That's the situation. It's the problem is, and I'm gonna give the floor back to you, Conrad. The problem we agree on, everybody, chat, Conrad, me, we agree on what the problem is. The problem is WWE is a stale product. We agree about that. But because WWE is a stale product, that's the reason why a 4-year-old storyline is the best thing they got. Let's go down the tiers of what is going up against my argument. I say the bloodline is the most entertaining thing in all of World Wrestling Entertainment, right? In 2026. If it's not, is it Cody Rhodes? I need you. You have to answer. I need you to answer, Conrad. If bloodline's not, then what's better, Cody Rhodes?
You can skip that.
Okay, CM Punk.
Not really. Just got back.
Sami Zayn.
I think it's up there.
It's up there, but Sami Zayn is intertwined with the bloodline. Solo Sikoa?
No, that's kind of upper mid.
The only thing I would think maybe is on the same level. I'm going to let you guess what I'm about to say. Obafemi. That's the only thing other than the bloodline that they got going. You can't even say LA Knight because they keep, every time he's on fire, they keep throwing water on him.
They middle him. That's the issue. Oba's really good. The problem with Oba is, guess what? He only works when the other person wants to work. Because if not, what's he gonna be out there talking about? You don't want him to beat anybody, because you're gonna need people for him to mow through later on. I don't understand these games. Whole lot of chat activity when the bloodline gets mentioned. I thought BJ did make a good point though. He did say we're talking about fantasy and what ifs though, and he said we're not talking about what is the problem though, and I'm like, that he does have a point. So we just talked about the Punk, like what it is with Punk. This is what it is. So
I'm gonna go on record one more time, Conrad. I'm gonna say something I don't think you ever would even think. With as much of a fan of Jay and Jimmy and Roman as I am, I'm gonna say something you never thought I would say, Conrad. You ready for this? I wish the bloodline wasn't the most intriguing thing about WWE in 2026. I wish it wasn't, because that would mean it's a better product.
And the other issue with that too is when Roman's gone, everyone else has to pick up and make sure we piece together Roman's story for him, you know?
Yeah, I love what Guy Will Gamble just said. Gunther Aldis about to be on that type of time if he still got some Magnus in him, but it's not going to be as good as the Bloodline. See, that's the thing. First of all, Gunther Aldis is kind of okay. I like the intrigue of seeing Aldis coming back.
We're going to jump into some of that.
It's not blockbuster material. We're talking about Conrad Cushman, Conrad Bartholomew Cushman.
That is not my middle name.
What's blockbuster in WWE? Obafemi and the Bloodline. That's it. Cody Rhodes is corny. When are we going to admit that? Cornball City.
Well, I have some things real quick. T-Ferg brought up something I didn't even think about. And
yes, by the way, and CM Punk is still awesome, but like not as much.
Well, he's stuck with someone. If you don't like Cody, are you going to really care what he's doing right now?
Yeah.
What's going on with the Street Profits? The Street Profits lost their tag titles too, which I was like,
please.
What?
What a disgrace. What a disgrace.
I didn't understand what the purpose.
He joins up with Austin. What are we doing?
And then Paul Heyman kind of just dismissed them still. So I'm like, are they or aren't they? What are they doing here? The Braun Breaker stuff is head scratching and mind numbing for someone who you thought was going to be the big deal. I think they should have had him win that title, like I said, in January. They should have just did it.
Well, I didn't say I told you so, but I told you Braun Breaker wasn't that good. But then again, they built him up to be that good. So if you're going to build him up to be that good, why taking the steam off him? It's just stupid, Conrad. It's just something. The whole world thinks that WWE is number one, and it is because it makes the most money. But I'll tell you, it's such a stale product. You want to know how stale of a product it is? I'm going to tell you how stale of a product it is, Conrad Cushman. You know what I'm going to be doing tonight after I come home from Bible study? I'm going to turn on Netflix. You know what I'm going to be watching on Netflix? The Home Run Derby. That's what I'm going to be watching. I'm not watching Monday Night Raw. I watch Monday Night Raw on Tuesday afternoons strictly for the benefit of our great listeners and viewers on this channel because I need to be informed about what's going on. WWE is not must-see television anymore. It's not, and it hasn't been for a long time. There's only one thing that makes me excited when WWE is on my television. Everybody, throw your ones in the sky if you're feeling the vibe. That's it.
Right. Matt questioned why they gave the Street Profits the belts for 2 weeks. I couldn't tell you, brother. And yeah, he thinks they're putting Braun Breaker on the back burner now because of Oba. Oba's the it. Remember this now. Let's fly through the rest of this stuff for it. We talked about Cody Rhodes, CM Punk earlier, Sean. I'm going to ask you.
Shout out to Deanna and Emily.
Oh, yeah, I see. If y'all didn't know, they put them up.
Go ahead, Conrad.
Yep. But Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, the match is made official for SummerSlam. They're going to do it. They do this whole little "we're friends" thing. Say when. When. All right, let's do it. SummerSlam. Yeah. Okay, we get to the match. That's fine. And I'm trying not to gloss over this. One of you two need a heel turn yesterday. The problem is that you're teasing Sami Zayn's the one that's turning. And I get it. Johnny may come back in here and talk about t-shirt sales. But as a viewer, if you're trying to get people back into this a little bit, you need someone who's going to do the darn thing. And I'm going to ask you this. Who needs the heel turn more, in your opinion? I want you to think about this. You can only pick one.
Will Gamble. I don't have to think about it, my brother. Shout out to Guy Will Gamble, throwing his one in the sky. Also, Deanna Emleezy. It's Cody Rhodes. It's always been Cody Rhodes, Conrad Cushman. It's been Cody Rhodes for a year. I don't want to take up too much time. I want you to talk more, bro. It's Cody Rhodes. It's not even close.
To me, I'll take either one of them at this point. Just do something different. And I'll be interested tonight to see how the people react to Punk. And if people kind of do we know where Raw is tonight? I have no idea.
That's a good question. I will say that he was received somewhat well in Oklahoma City on Friday.
Yeah, I say boo this guy. But then again, that they've trained that audience. The audience of throwing beach balls in the crowd during WrestleMania, having fun, us cheering for Cesaro, stuff like that. We're gone. You know where I'm at on Wednesdays. You know what I'm doing on Wednesday night. I'm gone from this. I feel like I'm the kind of like, okay, we're doing this for the show.
And most Hubbonomics on Thursdays are certainly not complimentary of WWE.
and they put themselves in that position. And you know who put themselves in a bad position? Nick Aldis, because my brother, he was getting put to sleep. They better do this match. Is there any way, Sean, that they just ignore this and they jump into Ilya and like Ilya's the replacement? Someone said that they could do that. Ilya Dragunov has not been seen really since the Rumble, since Brock Lesnar like threw him around. They've crushed any interest in this guy. Like what? That's another, like, some of the stuff is frustrating, man.
Look, I mean, I have no problem with Aldis versus Gunther in a preliminary match at SummerSlam. I just, we have to make sure that Aldis is healthy and ready to rock and roll. Obviously, he wouldn't be partaking in some of these activities if he wasn't healthy and ready to rock and roll. Shout out to M. Leasy, Dallas, Texas. It is. I mean, it's okay. What I'm trying to say is it's okay. And the reason why it's okay is because it's just okay. Just like the ticket sales are not that good because it's just okay. You can try and throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. You can try and take Ober's title shot away and put him in a Hell in a Cell with Brock Lesnar. Have Nick Aldis come out of retirement to face Gunther. Have Cody versus CM Punk early instead of at WrestleMania. But you know what? 20,000 tickets for night one and 20,000 tickets for night two in an arena that holds 70,000, that speaks for itself.
Yeah. T-Ferg, made me laugh. He said it's been Cody since his AEW days.
There you go.
And Guy Will Gamble said, no, we don't have fun anymore with wrestling. I feel like people are just mindless, just drones.
No, I won't say that. I think it comes across that way on TV, Conrad, so I understand where you're coming from. But I do want to go deeper into the situation with the tickets for SummerSlam. I think that's indicative of what's going on here. I mean, we're talking about 24,000 tickets sold on both nights for a 70,000 person stadium. So at the end of the day, Conrad, maybe people are starting to realize what we've been talking about for 2 years now. The product is just not that good.
But who's buying these tickets, Sean, at those exorbitant prices? Like, why would you pay that much money?
So your logic, the Conrad Cushman logic, which could be right, is that it's not because the product sucks, it's because the prices are too high?
You're paying all this money for this, and what are you getting out of it? You paid for 5 matches.
Right.
All that they're giving you less and charging you more.
Right.
That's how I view it, at least. Y'all can tell me if I'm crazy. I'm fine with that.
Well, look,
I'm not going.
Here's the situation, Conrad Cushman. You're not wrong. But here's the situation. If it was 5 matches 10 years ago, 20 years ago, as a matter of fact, if it was 5 matches, and those 5 matches were Austin Rock, Triple H versus HBK, Undertaker versus Bret the Hitman Hart, the Hardy Boys, the Dudley Boys, and Edge and Christian in a TLC match, and Lita versus Trish, people would go.
I just have friends. Like, listen, there are people who
love. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No. There are people though who love D'Lo Brown. They want to see D'Lo Brown on the pay-per-view cards. Would he survive in this era today? No,
he would not.
So what? Why would we do this? Like, sometimes that was the best match on the card, or this guy could wow you. You could do a storyline with D'Lo and Mark Henry against Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart. You could do different things. It doesn't have to be some 20-minute great match.
D'Lo Brown, to your point, I don't know if you were going there on purpose, but I'm giving you your flowers right now. D'Lo Brown and Jeff Jarrett at SummerSlam cooked.
Yeah, 100%. My point is, D'Lo Brown is one of the better wrestlers during the Attitude Era. If you want to see good wrestling, you'd probably watch a D'Lo Brown, an X-Pac, Val Venus, Jeff Jarrett.
European title match.
Yeah, you're watching the mid-card matches for it. Not saying the world title matches were bad or anything. I'm just saying if you're looking for the in-ring grapples and stuff, you're going to get 5 to 7 minutes of it with them.
To touch on a point that I've made before and that I think you kind of got a kick out of, maybe they're not willing to pay $1.50 for a Snicker bar anymore.
I wouldn't. Do you have any desire? Raw has come to my hometown multiple times, and I do not have a desire to go. I could buy a ticket. I have no desire to go, though. And that's on them for that. Back to Gunther and Nick Aldis. I hope Nick Aldis gets in the ring, and I hope he does well with it. That's all I could say. Like he's a fantastic wrestler. If anyone who's never seen him before, definitely check him out. If you've never seen his TNA stuff, check that out. I love his NWA run with the championship. What he did with that, the 10 pounds of gold.
Big shout out to Magnus.
Yeah, shout out to Magnus. Put him in a Dixieland match. Do that. Do that. But Gunther should be able to do this. But that's the best thing we have for Gunther, too. Like, this is the guy you're like, he's going to retire everybody. He's going to beat everybody. You want to face Nick Aldis?
Emleezy, I see you, kid. I see you. I like that, bro.
This is China versus Sergeant Slaughter. What is this?
100. Emleezy, I like that. Good stuff. I mean, it's a shame, but that's where we're at right now.
Yeah. If the product sucked, they still had tickets starting at $20 they would sell. Yeah. The product is trash and tickets are high, especially since this past week, its expired date. In 2014, even with bad booking, I was such a fan of so much of the roster that I stuck around hoping to see their moment. In 2026, I just know it's not happening. That BJ said exactly how I've always told you, Sean, how I felt. You know, when we first started working together, I'm like, you lost me. You missed too many moments to where I'm like, bro, you blew it way too many times for me. And eventually there's a turning away point. And sometimes I look at people and I'm like, when are you going to turn away? When is your turning away point from this place? Somehow they always get you back with the hook. You know, like, we're back into this. Gunther's retiring staff now next week. Herald and accounting. Dun, 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 dun.
What I realize about World Wrestling Entertainment, they give you just enough. They give you just enough. And I'll give you a little bit more elaboration on that. I think WWE sucks, except one aspect. What's that one aspect, Conrad Cushman?
The bloodline.
You think WWE sucks, but you're a CM Punk guy, even though you are critical of CM Punk at times, but that's your guy, and currently he's the champion. So I would imagine that's cool for you, right? Even though the circumstances are kind of different. Everybody has that one thing. I see your face kind of like this. I get it. But everybody has that one thing. The problem is, Conrad, and I'm not saying this like you don't understand. I'm kind of preaching to the choir on this one. The problem is it's a 2.5 hour show. If I only get one thing, that's not good.
You don't like Chad Gable and his monster truck theme music?
Well, yeah, I like Chad Gable, but the music is god awful.
Listen to the pop when he came out to his old theme and then to this new one. I'm like, bro, give him that old theme yesterday, please. And speaking of people coming back and old things happening, Baron Corbin's back, inserting himself in the U.S. title mixture. For whatever reason, the U.S. title's got fur on it now for Trick Williams, and Baron Corbin put himself back in this mix. I'm guessing a 4-way at SummerSlam for the U.S. Championship with Ricky Starks, Baron Corbin. Did they call Baron up to take the pin? Or
as it relates to Baron Corbin, I got 2 words for you. Who cares?
You know what? Good for him.
Who cares?
I feel for Baron Corbin.
I don't have a problem with Baron Corbin, but the way, who cares that he interrupted the U.S. title match? What does that even mean?
Would you rather him be with Danhausen? I was like, all right, this is a solid W for him rather than that rumor.
I'm just saying, like, if you're going to bring somebody back, bring them back with a purpose.
Where would you have inserted him?
You ease people back in. Baron Corbin, if you want Baron Corbin to mean something, why is he interfering in the U.S. title picture?
I would have had Braun Breaker bring him back and have him be the muscle for the Vision for a little bit. Like, hey.
Hello. Okay. Now you just asked the question, and then you just answered the question. You just answered it right there. That would have been a meaningful reason to bring him back and put him in a position to be successful. You just answered the question right there. There it is. Thank you, Conrad Cushman. Chat, did you see what Conrad just did? Conrad just answered the question. Conrad would have inserted Baron Corbin into the Vision, and it would have been more meaningful than what we saw on Friday night. So why is it that Conrad Cushman can do this and WWE cannot? WWE thought the best way to bring back Baron Corbin was to interfere in the United States Championship match. Do you know the United States Championship, other than maybe Trick Williams and maybe Carmelo Hayes, is a championship as of late that's almost forgotten? It's almost forgotten. It's the Rusev title. It's the Dolph Ziggler title. It's a title that nobody cares about. You know why? Because they don't book it properly. Now you put fur on it because Trick Williams wears fur. How innovative. How revolutionary. What a revolutionary idea.
Listen, I hear you. Black Delegation, what's going on? He said, this is probably a safe space to ask if you're in a safe space, my friend. My non-melanin friends feel awkward when I bring this up. 8 of the 10 AEW men's champions have been white. Who should be elevated to bring in some diversity to the championship lineage?
Well, Mercedes is about to be women's champion. Swerve is already in the mix for a world championship or continental championship or something of that nature. There's opportunity. I think
Kevin Knight will be in there for sure.
Kevin Knight is the current TNT champion.
Yeah, and he keeps talking about the world title.
Yeah.
I love that little tension they showed on the show too this week where who cares, Kyle? So I'm out here to let you know that the Jet wants a title. I was just like, oh man, he's got that rock in him. Yep. That's the rock all the way. At least he didn't end up Danhausen's monster. That is probably a benefit. Corbin and Breaker were a fun pair in NXT. That's what I'm saying. That could be easily. Also, Corbin and Seth have history, brother. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't understand it. Who I saw what BJ just said. Who was the previous one? Who talked about Corbin and his history with Braun?
Matt.
Matt. So Emleezy and BJ. I'm not two more educated opinions that could have made Baron Corbin's return more meaningful. What? This is just off the dome, Conrad. You're coming up with stuff off the dome. BJ, Emleezy off the dome. And WWE people are paid to do this every week. They're paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to come up with storylines and meaningful television for us to be intrigued by every single week for 5, 6, 7 hours a week. And they just can't do it. They can't do it. I'm looking forward to going to Bible study, getting some word, thanking God, coming home, turning Netflix on, and watching the Home Run Derby. I have no interest in World Wrestling Entertainment other than talking about it with you.
T-Ferg even said, don't really follow the product, but Trick has fur on the belt. Yes, to match his white fur coat. Has he lost his momentum, and is he a comedy act now? I won't say he lost his momentum. I think that how do I want to put this with Trick? I think that Trick toes the line between haha and serious. I think they view Trick as serious, and when they're ready, they'll cut the haha when they're ready, and they'll be like, "You're going to be the guy now," and you just know, you feel it in WWE. Like they have a formula to when they do that. Clown said Shelton Benjamin should at least get one run with it. I can see Shelton being the Ring of Honor world champ possibly one time. I don't know if they'd let him be the AEW world champion at this point in the game. Shelton's time came and gone years ago, and I'll let you guess who blew that one. So
I'll say it, Triple H.
The WWE as a whole.
Well, Triple H was the catalyst.
Yeah. I put him over. What do you mean? I took that roll up great.
Yeah, please.
Let's jump into Saturday night's main event, real quick. You mentioned it, Jalen Brunson, Roman Reigns. They're doing the best that they can for this. You could have put them in a match. You could have did that.
I will never have anything bad to say about Jalen Brunson or my tribal chief. But if this is the best you can do for Madison Square freaking Garden, this is pathetic.
Oh, we showed you last week. Women's tag titles, Paige and Brie Bella versus Fatal Influence.
Oh my God.
Remember when they got booed the first time? Danhausen versus JD McDonough. And they had to add this match. This is why Nick Aldis got choked out because he didn't give Gunther his title match. He was like, nah, I'll give you a tag match. You and Sammy. Why is Sammy teaming with Gunther?
They don't like each other. What are we doing?
Forcing him to be a heel, Nick. It's gonna be Punk and Cody. I'm sure that we'll get the Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan moment back to back. Oh, what are you doing? I see you, brother. I see you. Maybe an accidental blow here. I'm sure Gunther and Sami will win, but this card's weak, bro. Like, it's a one-match show. People are probably more interested in seeing what Jalen Brunson and Roman Reigns are gonna do than.
I'm gonna correct you. You don't need correcting that often, Conrad, but I'm gonna correct you. It's a one-segment show.
Yeah, but what is this gonna lead to?
Nothing.
So how I can't even say that's the best. Going in knowing what I know, like, nah, dog. I'm not even gonna say this. You can't. All this to build up to SummerSlam. We know we got Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins coming up, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar, Obafemi, and then you've got Liv Morgan, Io Sky.
You know what's sad? SummerSlam actually does look like a good card. That's the thing. I just don't have any faith that they're going to get it right.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yes. Black Delegation said Brunson recently had wrist surgery. I did not know he was hurt.
It was a minor surgery. He's going to be fine by training camp.
Saturday night's main event is a slap to the face to New York City and MSG.
It certainly is, Matt. It certainly is.
They are doing their best, man. Man's face was wild big on the promo. Oh, the tag match is real. I thought that was a ruse because they're never official. Nah, it's real. It's real. Yeah, SNME has nothing but filler. Brother, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Just disappointed.
I'd be a liar if I didn't say I was somewhat excited to see Sami, Roman and Jalen Brunson because I'm a Nick fan and I like Roman. So it's like, I mean, obviously, but I mean, that's pathetic though. That's pathetic that's the best thing on the show.
100%. Sean, we heard today news, Saturday, November 28th. We got War Games in Houston. It's going down that day.
It's going down. Yeah. In flames.
So, yeah, it's that time of year again. Time for a War Games match.
Best thing about that week is Thursday night Hubbonomics. Clash of the Podcast special. Every big pay-per-view, just like SummerSlam, the Thursday before SummerSlam, Thursday before Survivor Series. It's the best part of the week.
No doubt. Real quick, I want to touch on one thing and kind of bleed all these things together. We talked about AEW. There's a new international champion, Kyle Fletcher, won it from Konosuke Takeshita. We also had a world title match on television. Sean, I gave you a statistic earlier. I don't know if you want to tell the people, but what happened this week that hasn't happened since 1999?
Both world champions of the two biggest promotions in the country changed hands on the same week. And
on TV.
On television, right. Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. I like it. I'm trying to keep things fresh and interesting. We had MJF go up against Kenny Omega. I thought that this was a heck of a match. I don't know how you felt about it, Sean. But
please. Give me a break. I mean, it was phenomenal. It was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, AEW last week was a pay-per-view quality show.
That MJF doing that bump, the Mick Foley bump through the table, the Bret Hart, even some may call it the head first.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you could tell they took safety measures when he went through. Like, I was like, he went through super easy, but that's fine. But I was like, that's amazing.
You're still putting yourself at risk. That was a heck of a spot.
Yeah, and I love all I kicked out of the One Wing Angel easy. Don't worry about it. It's nothing. And then he got hit with it again. This time he didn't kick out. There was no waiting for a ref or any of that. It was fantastic work. Kenny Omega is once again the AEW World Champion, and it's not set in stone yet because there's still another pay-per-view because we still have to do Redemption, but All In's main event, it looks like they have put the poster together. Is it Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the championship? All in London. Looks like some more tickets moved. They also cut them down by 50%. I'm being fair.
Calling it right now. AEW All in London 2026 will be the best pay-per-view of the entire year in any organization.
That's a tough one though.
I'm saying it. In any organization, the best, not the best of the summer. The AEW All In will go down as the best pay-per-view of this year.
Okay, that's big. You know what this match reminds me of?
Well, it reminds me of good wrestling, which I don't see on Mondays or Fridays. There you go. I like that too. Very nice. Very nice. Right, Davey back in the day. Nice.
Wembley Stadium, same place. I think that this is their match. Let them go out there and let them do their thing. Will is also from the country. I think you could make some big things happen here with this. I'm looking forward to the match.
Almost to the day, too. Almost to the day. August 29th, August 3rd. Almost to the day.
I'm just glad that you peeped the game here with a lot of this. But fantastic work here by all involved. Real quick. Making his way to the ring.
There you go.
With Matilda.
That's right. And accompanied to the ring by the British Commonwealth heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis.
Oh my goodness.
Watch it on the network. You're welcome. Yes, Lennox Lewis did accompany the British Bulldog at SummerSlam, but I digress.
Some people didn't know back then, though. They didn't know that was about to be the guy.
About to be the guy. That's right.
Maple Leaf Pro, Sean, is going to be airing on my AEW.
I love it. I love it.
Wednesday nights at midnight might be tough for people to catch, but now they can go back and catch it on my AEW. Has this been a smart move? I know like Clown and people like me probably love this.
I love it. I love it. Their pay-per-views are fantastic. And to have a weekly show to help build up for pay-per-view, I love it. Love it.
Yeah. Johnny said New York City is expensive. I hear you, brother, on that man. TNA as well with Dolph Ziggler winning. Yeah, I think he won at the pay-per-view right before too. He might have been a week shy. Look at this. People are loving these matches. Where was Johnny asked us a good question. How would you rank all three of the matches with MJF and Kenny? Ooh, I will say that the one on Dynamite's number one for me. I will probably then I might go Collision and then Dynasty.
I mean,
I'd have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'm with you. To me, it doesn't. I mean, they're all intertwined. I would probably give the nod as the best one this past Wednesday, but I mean, 3 phenomenal matches, 3 just instant classics.
And Sean, I'm gonna save the graphics here. We're gonna talk TNA for the remainder of the show. It was the major episode. It was Dark Side of the Ring talking about the early days of TNA wrestling. Sean, did you happen to catch it? And how did you get introduced to TNA?
I got introduced to TNA through a friend of mine who told me that Elix Skipper, I believe his name is.
Prime time, baby.
Some guy named Elix Skipper tightrope the top of a cage with no rope, no net, 20 feet in the air, and did a enziguri on James Storm, and they both fell 20 feet to the ring. That's how I got introduced to TNA, and I never stopped watching until about 2011.
There were points in time, and I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I thought TNA was the best product in North America, hands down. Listen, not a popular thing to say. I love the storyline with Austin Aries that they did, where he cashed in his championship, and I was like, him and Bobby Roode are on fire. What do you mean? You can't do this? Option C, dude. Yeah, brother, it's your match. But if you lose, you put everything on the line and whatever. Okay. And then they do the match and he wins the title. Like they let the X Division guy win. That's when TNA cooked.
Yep.
You know when TNA didn't cook? We don't need no stinking playpen. And that's probably what this week's going to be about.
That's what it's going to be. It's going to focus on Hogan and all the changes. It's ridiculous.
For me, I can't remember. I remember seeing it and hearing about it beforehand, little murmurs, but I wasn't ordering the pay-per-views back then. That if I had $10, bro, I'm lucky if I'm holding that for some McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like yeah. Money was tough to try to order those. And with the TNA name, you know what they were trying to do with pay-per-view.
Right.
You're not fooling anybody, guys.
Right.
You're not fooling
action. Like we know we were playing on the women and their stuff. Like we know that.
I personally think that what this series needed on this show for these episodes, Sean, you can tell me if you agree or disagree, just from like a documentary standpoint, where's the truth teller in all of this. Like, it's fine to get Jeff Jarrett's opinion, Russo's opinion, Cornette's opinion, but who's out here like telling the truth? Like, okay, Sean, here's what really happened with Situation X. Here's what really happened with Jeff and Jerry Jarrett. Here's what really happened from the perspective of Russo and Cornette and why they didn't like each other and why Jeff wanted them both there. It's kind of weird. And I know that people probably are like, oh, Jeff's going to tell the truth. Yeah, but this is very tilted in Jeff Jarrett's side.
It is. But Dixie had a chance to do something about it, and she declined to be interviewed.
But TNA wouldn't exist without Dixie. I think that's the part that they're failing. Like, they're not really showing that part of it. It was more like Dixie was a fool. Dixie was this. Jeff Jarrett would have been bankrupt without all these people like running against him. TNA was not started like out of a necessity to compete with WWE. TNA was started because Jeff Jarrett was not going to have anywhere else to work.
That's right.
So Jeff Jarrett built the place so he could work that place. 100%. And everyone else benefited from it at the same time. I just thought that there were a lot of like.
Well, no, I mean, it's just like, God rest his soul. It's like Vern Gagne talking about AWA. It's kind of hard to be, objective when you're the boss. But at the same time, Dixie Carter had a chance to speak her mind as well, and Dixie Carter declined. Look, nobody can blame Jeff Jarrett for taking advantage of this platform and giving the story the way he wants to give it, and subsequently people continuing to possibly think that Jarrett was right about everything when Dixie was offered the chance to come on and speak her side and decline.
Yeah, and I mean, I would too, though, if you think it's going to be a hit piece on you,
Right.
Like,
I mean,
who's involved? No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I hear you. But at the same time, if I were Dixie Carter, I would have been like, there's no way I'm going to let people just take free shots at me.
Yeah, I mean, if you have your side of the story to tell with it too, unless part of it's true. The Kevin Nash story was very interesting. Nash is pouring her wine glasses and he's telling her, we're going to take over. You're going to be ahead of WWE in a year. Watch. Mm-hmm. And then, they're just taking the checks and they're running.
Yeah.
So looking back at it, Sean, what were the positives and negatives of early TNA before we get to Hogan and Bischoff? Like, what did you love about it and what didn't you love about it?
It was different, and it brought back the element that was lost when WWE bought WCW. I don't care what anybody says. The worst day in wrestling history was when WWE bought WCW in 2001. And when 2002 rolled around a year later and you have TNA, it made people look twice and say, hey, listen, there's an alternate brand out here. There's something going on. There's a groundswell. And obviously, signing major free agents like Christian Cage, like Kurt Angle, people came there and saw that, okay, this is not just independent guys. These are some serious guys. And then you have Sting, who went straight there from WCW. And then you got a chance to see the Samoa Joes and the AJ Styles because you were watching for Kurt Angles and you were watching for Sting and you were watching for the veterans that you knew about. And then you got exposed to these young superstars who turned out to be the face of a generation. I mean, AJ Styles just retired. He's a Hall of Famer. He cut his teeth in TNA.
And they kind of like pretend like it doesn't exist sometimes, which annoys me. And I'm like, no, AJ Styles was the guy. Kind of like, yeah.
AJ Styles. I love Sting. I love Sting, and I love Kurt Angle. Nobody should be considered Mr. TNA above AJ Styles. Nobody.
Yeah. And can we go back to that too? What I was saying, and I'm just critiquing how they did this.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, they made it sound like Kurt Angle was just came over. And I get why you can't say the real reason. That's not what happened. Kurt Angle came over because he was gone from WWE because they realized he had a problem. They were like, you need to fix this problem. And he was like, no, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
And he went over to TNA. He got paid probably $1 million and was like, cool, I'm in. What do you want me to do?
I will say this, though. Shout out to Kurt Angle, even though he wasn't right at the time. Shout out to Kurt Angle for not just coming over and collecting a check. Kurt Angle came over to TNA and started balling out.
Bro, there are some of those scary moments with Kurt where he's just yelling with the mouthpiece. Yeah. I was just like, yo, Kurt Angle was intense in TNA.
No, Kurt was tweaking, but Kurt was still performing. That's the thing.
And I'll even give props to probably not two of my favorite people in the media these days, but Bully Ray and Devon. Like, it was huge of them to get Team 3D at the time. Like, they did stuff with them. TNA had stars. They had Booker T at one point, Nash. They had the Main Event Mafia, Scott Steiner. These weren't just no names. They had people. They had people. They could have did some of the stuff. And I love people are putting in their reasons for why they love TNA as well. Clown came in and said, I watched for Raven. Raven and the Clockwork Orange match is fantastic work, man. TNA was the first time I saw the Bucks, Generation Me. Me and Rob were watching, I won't even tell you how, but we were watching a TNA pay-per-view. And when I saw Nick Jackson at the time, I forgot if he might have been Jeremy Buck. He did the leap through the ropes and then the moonsault off onto one of the Motor City Machine Guns without touching the ropes. I was like, this dude is fantastic, bro. More wrestling like this. And that's what I loved. I was like, this is a great opener. Samoa Joe is one of my favorite wrestlers. Like, if you ever heard me talk about Punk, Samoa Joe is right here with him. Right. Like, I love when Samoa Joe and Kurt Angle had that face off. Goosebumps right now. They did that face off. Kurt Angle headbutts this dude, and he gets up behind him, and he's bleeding. I love that Sahidi was the one who did like the Attitude Era promos. Gets to tell that story, and he's just like, "Oh, when Joe stood up, it felt so real." He was like, "You know, pro wrestling's not," but when you saw him behind him, he was like, "Yes, this is awesome." And then Joe wrecks him.
And also, there's people that people know that I'm kind of a Jey Uso guy, partially because I like the vibes. You know what I'm saying? I'm like I like the swagger for the culture. It didn't start with Jey Uso, man. It started with the LAX.
LAX is fantastic. Man, remember how over Hernandez was? They wanted him to be the world champ. People like
LAX, Hernandez, Homicide, and Salinas, along with Conan. That was my team. I love those guys. Those guys were the originators.
And that's not even the original LAX. They changed
it. Not even. They changed it. I mean, obviously Santana, right. But I'm saying that LAX. I'm
talking about even before that, there was another person before Hernandez came, and then they're like, switch it.
Okay, got you. But again, for people who like, oh, Sean's about the swag. Yeah, I like, but it didn't start with the Yeet movement. It started with LAX.
T-Ferg mentioned Okada. I don't know which version of Okada you talking about, brother, because Okada in TNA was that was one of the reasons why he got over it, and one of the reasons why they stopped working with New Japan actually was because of that, what they did with Okada. Petey Williams and the Canadian Destroyer, fantastic. First time I saw that, I lost my mind. I was like, that's not a real move. There's no way.
Team Canada, that team, we talked about that last week. Team Canada was phenomenal.
I wonder who runs that. Scott D'Amore, who just signed Maple Leaf Pro's deal with AEW. If Twitter was alive in 2002 when TNA was happening, terrible. Yeah, they were wilding out with some of the stuff they were doing back then. That's when you knew Russo was helping write it with the little people in the trash can, and they were wilding out with some of that stuff. The X Division, fantastic work. Who didn't love the X Division? America's Most Wanted, another great tag team. Great tag team.
And a very, very underrated wrestler that I really enjoyed. The Heartbreak Kid cousin, Michael Shane.
Michael Shane was really good.
I like Michael Shane. I like he was like, I am the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels' cousin. Michael Shane. I like him. He was good.
Yeah. And Jay Lethal was fantastic there too. I think Jay Lethal deserved way more than they ever gave him. I don't know why they undervalued him at points in time. Consequences Creed, aka Xavier Woods, should have been way more.
Shout out to T Ferg, I see you. Beer Money, shout out to Guy Will Gamble, Monty Brown. Yep. Oh yeah.
The DNA of TNA, Matt Morgan.
Yep.
Loved his finish in the elevator.
Of course, I see you, Ace. Of course, Ron Killens. Our truth, the Ron and Truth Killens.
And you know who disappointed me this week? Jeff Jarrett with that weak excuse. I almost cussed. That weak excuse he gave about why he didn't make Monty Brown the champ. Like, I didn't think it would, blah, blah, blah. No, Monty Brown should have been the TNA World Champ at least once. He would have hit Jeff Jarrett with the former Buffalo Bill Monty Brown, too. That's another.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, we're going to hold that against him.
Wow. The fantastic work. But I thought Monty Brown was great, though. You know what? My brother, he was in the chat earlier, actually. One of his favorite, Monty Brown. He always liked Marcus Corvan. He was like, make him the ECW champ. I like him. He liked him and Elijah Burke for whatever reason. The Pope.
Well, I liked Elijah Burke, too.
Did you like him in TNA, the Pope?
I did.
Okay. That's right, Daddy. They were doing a lot of different things, man. Where did it go down though in the early half here though for you, like Sean? Like what were the mistakes that they made besides we just talked about people they didn't put the championships on, but
I mean, look, I have more respect than most for Jeff Jarrett. But I admit Jeff Jarrett being champion for as long as he was probably wasn't the best idea. You had an opportunity to kind of lift some other people up, and I think maybe he waited too long to strike while that iron was still hot. It's kind of hard to be legitimate when you're the champion of your own promotion. Vern Gagne did it, but different times. So I think I would say at the end of the day, the reason that it was cooking. But if there was a reason, because most of the reasons why it did not do well was later in the years, we're going to go into next week. But if you want to pinpoint something in the early days that made it go left, I'd say Jeff Jarrett. As much as I respect him, Jeff probably wasn't the best idea.
It cuts you out on that.
Yeah, I said Jeff Jarrett probably being the world champion for as long as he was probably wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, that could definitely be seen as it. Christian Cage, I felt bad for him because he was the big signing, and every time Christian goes somewhere, like someone follows him immediately and then like takes the shine from Christian. I did not like that AJ Styles and Tomko were kind of the lapdogs with them though. The Prince of Phenomenal, and then you had to rebuild AJ back up. I love it. Abyss definitely deserves a lot of respect for the stuff he did. Awesome Kong and Gail. I can't believe they didn't mention Gail Kim either. Gail Kim and Awesome Kong were their top draws, and they had a women's champion working at a sunglass kiosk at the mall for how little they paid them. That's crazy. The beautiful people. Fantastic work. Great.
They were over like Rover.
Great entrance, by the way. Fantastic.
What did you like about their entrance, Conrad?
It was dynamic. It was unique. It was something that we hadn't seen before in pro wrestling.
Well,
I've actually met Velvet Sky. She's very nice. We were like the last people in line at a Ring of Honor show, and she was like, "No, you guys can stay." And anytime they say like, "Who's a nice person that you've met?" I always mention her, and she always goes, "Oh, thank you so much. You guys were great." We weren't like rushing them or anything like that. We were like, "Yeah, let's just take the pictures quick and appreciate you. Thank you guys." Nice. Angelina Love's from my area too a little bit, so she wrestled here in the Indies back in the day. American Wolves. Eddie Edwards is still there to this day. People bringing up the TNA video game. Yeah, they had a video game back in the day, man. It was really good. Really good. I'm just trying to think of what else is out there for us, Sean, to explore. Dixie Carter, like I said, I think you can go both ways on that stuff too. Like I said, Dixie was good. Jeff kept finding ways. Jeff Jarrett is the master of finding money in this episode. Like if you look at it and really study it, I don't know how he kept finding money. He was like, I got it. We got more money here. We got it there. And we got to get into a topic, Sean, that I don't like talking about with Kurt Angle, Karen Angle / Jarrett, and Jeff Jarrett.
Right.
How did you feel at the time when that happened? Because I had thoughts. I thought it was wrong, but then Karen kind of set the record straight. Like me and Kurt were just pretending. Like Kurt just needed me there to pretend, and maybe he thought it was going to work out. I don't know what the guy's logic was at the time.
We've seen in the past where bookers can accidentally book their own divorces, right? I'm not going to go into much detail. We're not going to mention that person's name, but at the end of the day, I think it was very important that it was spoken about and the record was made straight, right? I think that I felt the same way you did back in the day. Oh, that's messed up, cheating on his wife or cheating on his husband, I should say, in the same building and, throwing it in Kurt Angle's face. But Karen Angle was able to, express that, hey, listen, no, the marriage was already done in theory before I started dealing with Jeff, and we were just friends, and it kind of evolved from there. So that does make me feel better about it, because all these years I did think that it was kind of jacked up.
And that doesn't mean Kurt was happy about it either.
I'm sure he wasn't, but it's different than you're caught cheating on your husband compared to, me and my husband are no longer together if you're Karen. And if you put it in, if it was Conrad, God forbid, which will never happen, or me, God forbid, will never happen, me and my estranged wife, and then I meet my future wife in the same workplace. Well, I'm not trying to be malicious. It just, it happens. So to me, that did shed some important light on the situation that makes me look at Jeff Jarrett and Karen Angle Jarrett a little bit more favorably as it relates to, okay, maybe they weren't cheaters, maybe it was just bad timing.
And they did get into Jeff's like struggles too, like with Owen Hart passing, and then his wife passes on the exact same day.
Right.
Just terrible things that Jeff Jarrett had to deal with too, and the falling out. Imagine your father doesn't come to like a friend's funeral, and you're expecting to see him there, or the day you get, you know, with someone else, or, you know, just moments with your kids. It's like you don't want to see him. That's how bad stuff gets. So my word to people is don't let stuff get to you for that long. Like, life's too short, man, to do all that.
God and family are everything, bro. Like, you never want, if you can work it out, work it out.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I don't know, man. And then how do you feel about Jeff getting suspended from it? Like, so
I think that's bogus. I think that's bogus. I mean, that's what I really wanted to hear about from Dixie Carter, because if that is the way it played out, that is wrong. Because there is nothing that should prohibit somebody, unless you have a no fraternizing clause in your contract, which wasn't talked about. There should be nothing against, okay, yeah, I met somebody in the workplace, we fell in love, we got married. There should be no ramifications for that as it relates to a job performance. Now, some places do have no fraternizing policies. And if there is a no fraternizing policy in a contract, then you are subject to get terminated because of that, you know, because of that clause. But it wasn't, I didn't hear that during the documentary. I didn't hear that there was a no fraternizing clause that they violated.
Right. But I'm glad you're thinking that way, though, because that comes from where we obviously work. And it's like, well, hold on. Is there a clause? Like, what happened? Right. Show me in the handbook where it says that you can't do that.
You know, in my single days, there's been many a young lady that I would have wanted to deal with on the job, but I refrained because there's a no fraternizing policy. However, if there were no fraternizing policy and me and said young lady did get together, I don't care if the boss likes it or not. I didn't do anything wrong.
Now, if you remember, Conrad has a rule, though, with this.
Right.
You never date people from work. Never.
Oh, if you want to talk about so-and-soing where you eat, there's no question that it's frowned upon. I'm talking about the legalities of it.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Right. I always just think it's a dangerous thing. So that's my piece of advice to all of you. Don't do that. But, yeah, that very, very interesting. And then I thought it was funny that Dixie gets this meeting with Hogan and then Bischoff's there. Obviously, he's going to take care of his friend, too, because he needs someone to watch his back. And Hogan said, like, I didn't trust Russo after Bash at the Beach, and I know he was there. So I'm like, nah. Eric's coming with me to watch you. We're not doing this. Mm-hmm. And not only that, so you have this set up, but she called Jeff Jarrett to do like the negotiations with her.
Right.
What?
Right.
What a weird relationship that must have been. Like,
weird.
I thought they were locked in. And like I said, if it wasn't for Dixie's father, Panda Energy, and they had some millions of dollars to put into this, Jeff Jarrett wasn't hoisted out. He had to give power to Dixie for this thing to keep going, or he wasn't going to be able to keep going.
Yes, sir.
So Jeff doing like they stole it from me and all that. Like, no. That's not what happened, brother. I feel bad that you were kind of ousted and some of the situations happened if it played out the way you're saying it did. But you needed Dixie's money, and she's trying to bring in Hogan. She'd even end up paying for Hogan, for the record. Spoiler alert for next week. But that's where we wound up, and that's what ended up happening with it.
But again, it's so important, though. It's so important to throw out there one more time that talking about stuff like this is exactly the reason why Dixie Carter, I don't know if she was, you know, from a legality standpoint, advised not to be part of this documentary or just didn't want to be part of this documentary. But this would have been a perfect, because I don't want to hear nothing from Dixie Carter moving forward. You had an opportunity to set the record straight. Anything, and I say don't want to hear anything in essence of, you say anything now that documentaries come out, it's going to sound like sour grapes. It's going to sound like sour grapes. If I were Dixie Carter, I would have bit the bullet and I would have been part of this documentary to set whatever record straight that needed to be set straight, because she has been aired out. And I'm assuming and believing that she's probably going to be aired out a little bit more tomorrow night.
I'm sure it's going to get worse because we know what's coming. But here's the crazy part. We all know this. TNA still in existence today. They find a way. It's been how many years? 20, 25, 24 years? Like, they still find a way.
24 years, almost a quarter of a century they've been around.
Very crazy in the end. Are you looking forward, though, to next week's episode? Like, I wish that it was presented differently, but I'm in for the ride. So I'm like, let's do it.
I hate to sound so generalized, but I'm looking forward to every Dark Side of the Ring there ever was, because this is a fantastic pro wrestling documentary. Specifically as it relates to TNA Part 3, of course. I mean, I would like to see how. I mean, it's unfortunate it's only Jeff and Karen and, whoever has appeared on, the Sinister Minister's opinion on how things worked out. There will be no Dixie Carter, so it will only get one side of the story, but we'll see.
Yeah. And I'll be interested to see if they get Eric Bischoff on this. I think Tony Khan's going to appear too, probably with his thoughts maybe from a fan's perspective or booking, maybe.
Right.
So maybe some of the insanity that happened with it. But Sean, that's all I got for this week, man.
Yeah, fantastic episode, man. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure that you guys are ready and prepared for this Wednesday night when Conrad and my guy Derek bring you their AEW review right here on the Everything Pro Wrestling channel. This Thursday night, it will be Hubbonomics on the HW Weekly channel. We discuss Jey Uso and Jey Uso. I'm so used to saying Jey Uso. I apologize, guys. We're talking about Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso having his opportunity to be a champion. I believe that his time has come to at least win a singles championship of some kind. We'll be talking about him, and we will be talking more in depth about the CM Punk and Sami Zayn situation. Is it hypocrisy? Is it an overreaction? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more this Thursday night on Hubbonomics. And set your calendars in advance for Thursday, July 30th, 2 days before SummerSlam, as Conrad and myself will bring you a very special Clash of the Podcast as we discuss SummerSlam and do our official predictions on 2 nights before the biggest party of the summer. And of course, there's no other place to be but right here next week, 6:05 Eastern Standard Time for the next weekly edition of Clash of the Podcast. So on behalf of my good friend and tag team partner, Conrad Cushman, representing Everything Pro Wrestling, my name is Sean Hubbard, representing HW Weekly, and collectively we are Clash of the Podcast. Until next time, God bless, be encouraged, evil never prevails. Until next week, later.